Hello and a very warm welcome to a bite-sized edition of Talking Envision. This is for Wednesday the 27th of May. I'm Mike and it's great to have you with us. Now this shorter, easy to enjoy version of our Talking newspaper is designed to keep you informed, entertained and connected without taking up too much of your day. In today's bite-sized edition, we've got a little something for everyone. We'll be sharing the latest news from both local and national papers, updates from across the community, and information on activities and events that you won't want to miss. If you fancy a challenge, there's a fun quiz to test your general knowledge. We've also got some poetry, and this week the theme is nursery rhymes, and there's a delicious recipe for you to try at home. And of course, there's a TV guide as well, with a few suggestions as to what's on the TV over the next 7 days. And before we finish, stay tuned for a few quirky news stories just to leave you with a smile on your face. So sit back, relax and enjoy this bite-sized edition of Talking Envision. It's your quick and easy way to stay in the loop. If you'd like to hear more, you can join us on Alexa, where you can just ask it to open Talking Envision. Or you can head over to our YouTube channel. Just search for Envision Sight Loss Charity. Or head over to our website where you can listen to this week's Talking Envision uninterrupted.
Hello everyone, Catherine here with activities that are going on that you can join in June. So on Monday the 1st of June we have Craft and Chat, and that is in the Sharples Hall. And just for June, this is going to be held at a slightly earlier time of 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. So just to note that change of time, 11 till 1 on Monday the 1st of June for Craft and Chat. Then on Tuesday the 2nd of June, we have our Cafe Club. And on the 2nd of June, it's being held at the Holiday Inn in Blackpool. And the address for that is 85 Talbot Road, Blackpool, FY1 1LL. And starting at 11 a.m. Come along with your friends and family to an informal chat where you can meet the Envision staff and volunteers along with other people associated with Envision. And tea and coffee is available to buy from the venue and meet for about an hour or so. So that's the Cafe Club in Blackpool on Tuesday the 2nd of June. Then on Wednesday the 3rd of June we have a very special drama workshop. Again, this is being held in the Sharples Hall and booking is required. That's from 1:30 p.m. until 3:30 in the Sharples Hall. So come along and join a fun, welcoming workshop led by Joy. Some of you may already know her from her poetry readings. And this is your space to build confidence, explore creativity and improve communication in a relaxed, supportive environment. Whether you've got acting experience or you're trying something completely new, you're very welcome. No experience is needed, just come along and give it a go. It's free and fun. And this will be a monthly workshop. So booking is essential, so please call Jane on 01253 36 26 96 to reserve your space. Then on Thursday, the 4th of June, we have our social group. Our social get-togethers are every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Sharples Hall, which is at the rear of the Princess Alexandra home. A hot lunch is provided with tea and coffee served throughout the day. There are activities and entertainment is provided. It's a chance to get together, have fun and make friends. The cost for the day is £20, or you could try a taster session for £10 if you haven't been before. Members of our weekly social club thoroughly enjoy joining in with the entertainer. If you or someone you know has a sight loss issue, then this warm, welcoming club is a great opportunity. Then on Monday the 8th of June, we have Chair Yoga and Wellbeing, and that is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Sharples Hall. Chair yoga is gentle stretching exercises performed while seated in a chair, making yoga accessible to all. Breathing techniques to calm and soothe and some meditation, and it's great for beginners. The benefits include increased flexibility, strength and mental well-being. It's relaxing and fun, and Julia is our trained and experienced teacher for that session. So that's chair yoga from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. on Monday the 8th of June. And on Tuesday the 9th of June, we have another cafe club. And this time, it's in Cleveleys. And that is the Tramway, 167 to 169 Victoria Road West, Cleveleys, FY5 3LB, starting at 11 a.m. for about an hour or so. So come along and meet Envision staff and volunteers and other people associated with Envision, and you can buy tea and coffee from the venue. So that is at the Tramway on Tuesday, the 9th of June. And then on Thursday, the 11th of June, we have the regular weekly Thursday social club. So come along, listen to some entertainment, have tea, coffee and a hot lunch, all for just £20. And on Monday, the 15th of June, we have our Learn to Dance session at the Sharples Hall. This is from 1 till 3 p.m. Our dancing classes are a great way to exercise whilst having fun. It's good for your overall physical health as it tones your muscles and improves your balance. And it's also a social occasion. Our clients have made friends through our activity groups, and this includes Learn to Dance. Our classes are taken by Rosalind, who is a brilliantly qualified and experienced dance teacher. She ensures that all participants are comfortable at the pace of certain dances, so no dance is too strenuous. The dance class lasts for about an hour, and then we have tea, coffee and biscuits. It doesn't matter if you have danced for a long time or, like some of us, have never danced at all. Everyone has fun and a laugh, and you can learn a new or a different skill. All it costs is an afternoon of your time, once a month on a Monday afternoon. And on Tuesday the 16th of June, we have the Cafe Club, and this time it's in Fleetwood, at the North Euston Hotel on the Esplanade, FY7 6BN. And just a reminder, it starts at 11 a.m. And come along, buy tea and coffee from the venue and meet Envision staff and volunteers and other people associated with Envision. Come and have a chat and get to know new people. And on Thursday, the 18th of June, we have our social club again on the Thursday. That's from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Sharples Hall. And moving on to Monday, the 22nd of June, we have our walking group. Meeting at St Anne's Pier at 11 a.m. We're going to walk southwards towards Lytham, and booking is required. So if you do want to join us on that walk, call Jane on 01253 36 26 96, and it'll be a guided walk with volunteers to assist, and anybody who with any form of sight loss or low vision is welcome to come and join us. And then on Tuesday the 23rd of June, it's our Cafe Club again. And this time around, we have two options. The Cafe Club will be meeting at Booth's Cafe at the Teenlow Centre in Poulton, FY6 7DF, from 11 a.m. Or, if you prefer and it's more convenient for you, you can meet at the Glendower Hotel, North Promenade, St Anne's, FY8 2NQ, again starting at 11 a.m. Then on Thursday, the 25th of June, we have our regular Thursday social club from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Sharples Hall. Come along, have a hot lunch, tea and coffee and some entertainment, and come and join in and make new friends. Just £20 or £10 if you haven't been before. And then finally, for our Monday activities in June, on Monday, the 29th of June, we will be having a 10-pin bowling session, which is at the Thornton Sports Centre, from 12 p.m. Again, booking is essential, so please call Jane on 01253 36 26 96 to book your space. So there are plenty of activities going on in June. Let's hope for some nice weather, particularly for those outdoor events like the St Anne's Walk. But hopefully there is something there to whet your appetite. Please come along, join in, meet new people, learn new skills and have some fun.
More private schools have opened than closed since Labour's VAT hike. The subheading, the introduction of VAT on private school fees has been blamed for closures, but the numbers present a complex picture. More private schools opened than closed last year despite Labour's introduction of VAT on school fees. Some 107 independent schools opened in England last year, the highest number recorded since 2007, the iPaper's analysis of government records found. Meanwhile, 71 closed, more than in 2024, but lower than in 2023, before the Labour Party came to power. This year so far, 38 private schools have opened and 10 have closed, according to the Department of Education's Register of Schools. The number of private schools in England has been growing since 2024, despite Labour's general election win in July of that year.
A teacher accused of the murder of an adopted baby told a jury he never hurt or sexually abused the child. Jamie Varley, aged 37, became emotional at times during his evidence from the witness box as he denied the murder of 13-month-old Preston Davey. He denied taking photos or videos as trophies of sexual abuse, but said he felt disappointed and really ashamed at some images he had taken on his phone. Varley is alleged to have routinely sexually, physically and emotionally abused the baby he had adopted with his partner, John McGowan Fazakali, aged 32, Preston Crown Court has heard. Both men of Chandler's Way, Grimsby, and formerly of Staining Road, Staining, deny all charges. In the fourth week of the trial, Varley gave evidence in his own defence for the first time, his voice sometimes breaking with emotion as videos and photos of the baby were shown on screens in the courtroom.
Police crack down on antisocial behaviour in St Anne's. Filed MP Andrew Snowden has welcomed a police operation over the coming days and weeks, which comes in the wake of an increase of antisocial behaviour in the town centre. Officers have been called to St Anne's Square on at least 2 occasions over recent weekends. One to reports of an assault which saw 2 boys taken to hospital with stab wounds and 2 arrested on suspicion of assault, causing grievous bodily harm, criminal damage and a fray, while the others followed a group of youths gathering outside Tesco Express and being dispersed by members of the neighbourhood police team. Mr Snowden has been in touch with Lancashire Police and filed counsel over the issues and says, while the nice weather brings many benefits, it has sadly once again brought increase in antisocial behaviour in the town centre. There have been some arrests and increased police activity already, but it's clear that there is a group intent on being disruptive and committing ASB offences. Environment Agency says closure still option for landfill. The Environment Agency will not hesitate to take further enforcement action if it does not see improvements at Fleetwood Jameson Road landfill site. The closure is an option, albeit a long way down the road, if operators Transwaste do not deal with the toxic smell situation. The lingering, putrid smell continues to affect people living in the town and have escalated their campaign to force Transwaste to deal with the situation through protests and public meetings. Wire Council issued the company with an abatement notice that is valid for 60s, and they must tackle the nuisance smell effectively within that timescale. An EA spokesman said the community should not have to tolerate odour pollution, and we have made this position clear to Transwaste, the site operator. Our regulatory action has led to the landfill site being fully covered to reduce odour risk. We have also pressed Transwaste to urgently install permanent capping for 2 landfill cells to prevent future odour emissions.
And Brett Ormerod believes Blackpool FC coach Ian Evatt will have learned a lot about himself as well as his players given this season's struggles. Evatt arrived at Bloomfield Road last autumn, having been out of the game since leaving Bolton Wanderers in January 2025. Blackpool is a third stop in a managerial career which started with guiding Barrow AFC to the National League title in the 2019-20 season. 12 months later, his Bolton team won promotion from League Two before an EFL Trophy victory in 2022-23. There were also 2 playoff campaigns in League One, so Blackpool's tough season was a new experience. They were in real trouble up until mid-March, before 7 wins and a draw in the last 9 matches secured the Seasiders' safety. Ormerod said of his former teammate, "For Evo it was a new situation for him. He's coming into a team that was struggling at the bottom of the league, but if you look at his record as a manager, he's always been pushing for promotion. I think he's learned a lot about himself in that situation. He dealt with it fantastically well, to get rid of that outside noise in order to focus on what the group needed. It was a bumpy road at times, but that's football."
Hello and welcome to your Talking Envision Community News on Tuesday the 26th of May. I'm Mike, thank you very much for joining me once again for your weekly roundup of community news, local information, celebrations, notices and stories from the Envision community. We've got birthday wishes, time tides, lottery results and some touching tributes, and a couple of uplifting stories from our Facebook page, including one incredible fundraising effort and a brilliant accessibility improvement in Preston. So make yourself comfortable and let's begin. First this week we have a very special birthday mention. Happy birthday to Sandy Slater from Lytham St Anne's, who celebrates her birthday on Monday the 1st of June. Everyone here at Envision would like to send the warmest wishes for a wonderful birthday. We hope you enjoy a lovely day filled with happiness, laughter, good company, and perhaps a slice of cake or 2. Many happy returns, Sandy, and to anybody else celebrating a birthday next week. Now, the hours of darkness are next, and the hours of darkness for this week are from 9:35 p.m. through to 4:45 a.m. Now, the evenings are continuing to stretch out beautifully now, giving us longer days, brighter mornings, and plenty more opportunities to enjoy the outdoors as summer edges ever closer. And now, here are your tide times for the week ahead. For Saturday, the 30th of May, the high tides are at 11:20 a.m. and 11:40 p.m. Sunday the 31st of May at 11:55 a.m. Monday the 1st of June at 12:15 a.m. and 12:35 p.m. Tuesday the 2nd of June 12:50 a.m. and 1:10 in the afternoon. Wednesday the 3rd of June 1:25 a.m. and 1:50 p.m. Thursday the 4th, 2:05 in the morning and 2:25 in the afternoon. And lastly, Friday the 5th of June, 2:45 in the morning and 3:10 in the afternoon. Perfect information for anyone planning a coastal walk, maybe a trip to the promenade, or just simply wanting to avoid getting caught out by the sea. And here are your lottery results. From Wednesday the 20th of May, the winning numbers were 9, 20, 24, 51, 52 and 59. The bonus ball of 31. And from Saturday the 23rd of May, the lucky numbers are 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 and 33, with bonus ball of 35. Very unusual sequence there on Saturday. If you picked those numbers, hopefully luck was on your side. Wow, that's perfect if you've picked birthdays as your numbers 4, 5, 6, 7 and 11. Wow. And now we pause to remember those who have sadly passed away. Daphne Bagley, Nee Owen, aged 92, peacefully at home. Jean Gillibrand, aged 96, at Acorn Nursing Home. Margaret Lloyd, aged 74, who passed away peacefully in her sleep. Margaret enjoyed travelling the world and exploring the Lake District with her husband Mike. Peter Miller, aged 85. Robert Williams, known to many as Bob, aged 83, at Glenroyd Care Home. Bob was a former counsellor for the Blackpool-based mental health charity STAR. Gillian Carlyle, aged 85, in the care of Berwick House Care Home. Gillian was the wife of the late Reverend John Carlyle, Vicar of St John the Divine Church in Lytham. And Eric Cox, aged 82, who passed away peacefully in hospital and was formerly of Fennis Cowles in Blackburn. Our thoughts and condolences go out to all family members, friends and loved ones at this difficult time. And now it's time for some uplifting stories from the Envision Facebook page. And a massive thank you to Barbara. Everyone at Envision would like to say a huge thank you to the incredible Barbara Brooks for her fantastic fundraising efforts. Barbara bravely took on a sponsored walk all the way from Fleetwood to Blackpool Stargate, and she certainly picked up an interesting day for the weather, battling through the wind and rain along the route. Thankfully, she wasn't alone, as friends and supporters joined her throughout the walk, cheering her on and walking beside her every step of the way. And the result? An absolutely incredible total of more than £900 was raised for Envision. That money will go directly towards supporting the people living with sight loss across our local community, helping Envision continue its important work. Photos from the day show Barbara proudly receiving her Certificate of Achievement during part of the walk between Cleveland and Russell on the 18th of May. And, naturally, wearing her unforgettable red feather hat with her words, "Everyone should see me." And honestly, Barbara, with a hat like that, nobody could possibly miss you. A huge thank you once again for your kindness, determination, energy, and wonderful sense of fun. You're an absolute star. And finally this week, some excellent news from Preston. The Harris Museum, Art Gallery and Library has recently introduced new tactile wayfinding maps designed to help blind and sight-impaired visitors navigate the building more independently. Located at the Flag Market entrance, the tactile map includes raised elements, braille text and a clear colour-coded floor plan of the ground floor. It's part of the Harris Your Place project and represents a real positive step towards making cultural and public spaces more accessible and inclusive for everyone. It's always encouraging to hear about organisations taking accessibility seriously and thinking carefully about how people with sight loss experience public spaces. So if you're planning a visit to Preston in the near future, the Harris could be a fantastic place to explore. And that brings us to the end of this week's Talking Envision Community News. Thank you very much for listening and for continuing to support everything that we do here at Envision. So whether you're listening at home, in the garden or out on a walk or through your smart speaker, we're always delighted to have your company. Take care of yourselves, enjoy the lighter evenings, and we'll be back again next week with more community news, stories and updates. Until next time, take care, goodbye for now.
Hello everyone, Catherine here with this week's quiz. 10 general knowledge questions to get you thinking. Question 1. In which strategy board game do players take turns to try and fire upon each other's war vessels by guessing their coordinates? Question 2. The name of which British island can go before cow, sweater or potato? Question 3. Simon and Garfunkel's hit, Mrs. Robinson, featured on the soundtrack of which 1967 film? Question 4. Malus domestica is the scientific name of a common type of which fruit-bearing garden tree? Question 5. Which South American country has Caracas as its capital city? Question 6. The collective noun for which species of bird is a murder? Question 7. What quantity of paper consists of 20 quires or 500 sheets? Question 8. In which stadium, the largest in the country by seating capacity, does the Scotland national rugby team play its home matches? Question 9. Scafell Pike is the highest peak in England. In which national park would you find it? And question 10. In terms of its measurement, what is the beam of a ship? So get thinking, and we will have the answers to this quiz for you after some poetry.
Hello, it's Joy Holden here, reading you more nursery rhymes, and I'm hoping you really enjoy these. 7 times 1 by Jean Ingelow. There's no dew left on the daisies and clover. There's no rain left in heaven. I've said my 7 times over and over. 7 times 1 are 7. I am old, so old I can write a letter. My birthday lessons are done. The lambs play always, they know no better. They are only 1 times 1. O Columbine, open your folded wrapper, where 2 twin turtle doves dwell. O Cuckoo Point, toll me the purple clapper that hangs in your clear green bell. And show me your nest with the young ones in it. I will not steal them away. I am old. You may trust me. Linnet, linnet, I am 7 times 1 today. Our Visit to the Zoo by Jessie Pope. When we went to the zoo, we saw a gnu, an elk and a whelk and a wild emu. We saw a hare and a bear in his lair, and a seal have a meal on a high-backed chair. We saw a snake that was hardly awake, and a lion eat meat they'd forgotten to bake. We saw a crab and a long-tailed dab, and we all went home in a taxicab. Catching Fairies by William Corey. They're sleeping beneath the roses. Oh, kiss them before they rise, and tickle their tiny noses, and sprinkle the dew on their eyes. Make haste, the fairies are caught, make haste. They'll scatter sweet scents by winking, with sparks from under their feet. They'll save us the trouble of thinking, their voices will sound so sweet. Oh stay, they're up and away. Oh, stay. The Lost Doll by Charles Kingsley. I once had a sweet little doll, dears, the prettiest doll in the world. Her cheeks were so red and so white, dears, and her hair was charmingly curled. But I lost my poor little doll, dears, as I played in the heath one day, and I cried for her more than a week, dears, but I never could find where she lay. I found my poor little doll, dears, as I played in the heath one day. Folks say she is terribly changed, dears, for her paint is all washed away, and her arm trodden off by the cows, dears, and her hair not the least bit curled. Yet for old sake's sake, she is still, dears, the prettiest doll in the world. A Child's Thought of God by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. They say that God lives very high, but if you look above the pines, you cannot see our God, and why? And if you dig down in the mines, you never see him in the gold, though from him all that's glory shines. God is so good. He wears a fold of heaven and earth across his face, like secrets kept for love untold. But still I feel that his embrace slides down by thrills through all things made, through sight and sound of every place. As if my tender mother laid on my shut lids her kisses' pressure, half waking me at night, and said, "Who kissed you in the dark, dear guesser?" Tartary by Walter de la Mare. If I were lord of Tartary, myself and me alone, my bed should be of ivory, of beaten gold my throne. And in my court should peacocks flaunt, and in my forest tigers haunt, and in my pools great fishes slant their fins athwart the sun. If I were lord of Tartary, trumpeters every day to all my meals should summon me, and in my courtyards bray. And in the evening lamps should shine, yellow as honey, red as wine, while harp and flute and mandoline made music sweet and gay. I think you might remember this poem as being a poem set to music. See what you think. It's called I Saw a Ship A-Sailing, and the author is unknown. I saw a ship a-sailing on the sea, and oh, it was all laden with pretty things for thee. There were comfits in the cabin, and apples in the hold. The sails were all of silk, and their masts were made of gold. Another poem by Robert Louis Stevenson called Autumn Fires. In the other gardens and all up the vale, from the autumn bonfires, see the smoke trail. Pleasant summer over, and all the summer flowers, the red fire blazes, the grey smoke towers. Sing a song of seasons, something bright in all, flowers in the summer, fires in the fall. A very, very short verse called the 1st of May. The fair maid who, the 1st of May, goes to the field at break of day, and washes in dew from the hawthorn tree, will ever after handsome be. Now that ends the selection of very old-fashioned nursery rhymes, but I hope you enjoyed it, and for some of you it would be a trip down memory lane. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. This is Joy Holden signing off.
And now we have the answers to the quiz. Question 1. In which strategy board game do players take turns to try and fire upon each other's war vessels by guessing their coordinates? And that, of course, is Battleships. Did you play that when you were a kid? Question 2. The name of which British island can go before cow, sweater or potato? And that is Jersey. Question 3. Simon and Garfunkel's hit Mrs. Robinson featured on the soundtrack of which 1967 film? And that was The Graduate. Question 4. Malus domestica is the scientific name of a common type of which fruit-bearing garden tree? And that is the apple. And I've got 4 apple trees in my garden, actually. And already some little apples are forming, which is rather exciting. Question 5. Which South American country has Caracas as its capital city? And that is Venezuela. Question 6. The collective noun for which species of bird is a murder? and that is crows. You get a murder of crows. Question 7. What quantity of paper consists of 20 quires or 500 sheets? And that is a ream. Question 8. In which stadium, the largest in the country by seating capacity, does the Scotland national rugby team play its home matches? And that is Murrayfield. Question 9. Scafell Pike is the highest peak in England, and in which national park would you find it? And you can find it in the Lake District. And question 10. In terms of its measurement, what is the beam of a ship? And the beam of a ship is its width. So I hope you found that quiz interesting. We will have another quiz for you next week. Bye for now.
Hello, it's Maria Felix Fass here with your weekly recipe feature for Envision Talking newspaper. And today's recipe is for a slow cooker sausage casserole or sausage surprise. Now, this coincides with the new Wednesday cooking demonstration days that are taking place at Envision, called Hot Meals for Low Vision Households. It's a great scheme, and for more information about it, and if you want to attend, then please do contact Envision. Last week's leek and potato soup was also part of that. And for the next few weeks, all the recipes I give you also will be part of this scheme. So for your slow cooker sausage surprise, as usual, I'll give you the ingredients and the method of cooking, but do be prepared to stop and start the recording as you go along. So for your shopping list, you need 4 sausages. This is for 2 people. 1 onion, 2 potatoes, 2 carrots, 1 can of chopped tomatoes, 2 stock cubes, either meat or vegetable ones, and salt and pepper to taste. So before placing everything into the slow cooker, what you need to do first of all is actually cook through the sausages. So fry them in a little bit of oil in a frying pan. As they're frying gently, you can peel the onion, the carrots and the potatoes and chop them up. Once the sausages are cooked through, then you can place the sausages and all the vegetables into the slow cooker. Then what you do is open the tin of tomatoes and empty that into the slow cooker, and then fill that tin with water and add that to the slow cooker also. Crumble your stock cubes into the mix and then give it a good stir. Put the lid on the slow cooker, turn it on and leave it for as long as you want to leave it. However, at least 4 hours on a medium or high heat normally does the trick. The best thing about a slow cooker is that you can turn it on and then return to it after a day's work and the house smells beautiful. Now you can also add any meat that you like and any kind of vegetable you like, which is what the surprise element is all about. Soup can also be added instead of the tomatoes to create the sauce. You can also add a little touch of Worcester sauce into the mix, and also you can add a little bit of red wine if you have it. And remember, if you don't use or have a slow cooker, then you can follow this exact recipe I've given you, but make sure you put all the ingredients into an oven-proof casserole dish and then pop it in the oven for up to an hour on gas mark 5 or 200 degrees Celsius. When it's ready, eat it immediately with some fresh, crusty bread. It's delicious. Enjoy. And remember, next week we'll be doing another one of these recipes where we coincide with the Wednesday cooking demonstrations at the moment. And next week's will be something completely new to me because we're going to try cooking in an air fryer. For now, happy cooking, and I will speak to you next week. Have a brilliant week, whatever you're doing until then.
And now we have the TV guide. Unfortunately, at the time of going to press, the radio guide wasn't available. So here is just the TV guide from our friends at Wharfedale Talking News, courtesy of TNF Soundings.
Hello, this is Val from Wharfedale Talking News with my selection of audio-described TV programmes for the period Saturday 30th of May to Friday 5th of June 2026. So starting with Saturday the 30th of May, today starts with the usual triple bill of the sitcom Frasier at 9:10, followed by 4 episodes of The Simpsons at 10:50. Both on Channel 4. There is live coverage of 2 rugby league finals today from Wembley Stadium, starting with the Women's Challenge Cup final between Wigan Warriors and St Helens on BBC 2, kick-off 11:45am. Wigan Warriors meet Hull Kingston Rovers in the Men's Challenge Cup final on BBC 1, kick-off 3pm. Although these events are not audio described, the commentary should give you an idea of the action. The chef ends his trip in New York in James Martin's American Adventure on ITV1 at 12:30pm. Cast your mind back to 1983, when Shergar, the world's most valuable racehorse of the era, was abducted at gunpoint from Ballymanny Stud in County Kildare. Decades later, the mystery of what became of Shergar remains unsolved. Tonight's documentary, Shergar, the Racehorse and the IRA, on Channel 4 at 8pm, investigates. In today's visit to the hospital drama Casualty on BBC 1 at 8:25pm, Flynn uncovers more evidence on Bard. Spade interrogates the intruder and learns that there are some people who still very much want him dead. The drama Monsieur Spade continues on the You and Drama channel at 9pm. Dan fights to win Zoe back in tonight's episode of the drama 2 Weeks in August on BBC 1 at 9:15pm. The action drama Taken, starring Liam Neeson, is tonight's late film on ITV1 at 10:50pm. On to Sunday, 31st of May. Sunday with Laura Koonsberg, featuring interviews with politicians and key public figures, is on BBC 1 at 9am. Live audio-described coverage of the Women's FA Cup final, when Brighton and Hove Albion meet Manchester, is on Channel 4, kick-off 3pm. The naturalist and team travel to the mountains of Kyrgyzstan on a mission to witness the snow leopard. Expedition with Steve Batchel is on BBC 2 at 5:25pm. In tonight's episode of Death Valley on BBC 1 at 8:15, Janie and John investigate when a junior member of a TV crew overdoses in an actor's trailer. Staying on BBC 1, this is followed at 9pm with the drama Dear England. Gareth Southgate's guilt weighs heavily on his conscience in the aftermath of a devastating defeat at Wembley. A 3-part documentary series starts tonight investigating a charity for seriously ill children, launched by a teenager who is battling a brain tumour. However, the charity was perhaps not what it seemed. The Mother of All Cons is on BBC 2 at 9pm. A new tense thriller, Tiptoe, from writer Russell T Davies, starts tonight on Channel 4 at 9. A minor feud starts to escalate into danger when Leo gives his next-door neighbour his spare key. Continues tomorrow at the same time. A new series of the Australian drama following members of a jury at a murder trial starts tonight. a cold case from 1968 draws attention when a person researching it is killed. The first 2 episodes of Cape Rock Killer start at 10:45 p.m. on ITV1. Here are those programmes which are on at the same time throughout the week. On BBC One, Homes Under the Hammer is at 11:15 a.m, Bargain Hunt is at 12:15, and Great Continental Railway Journeys is at 6:30 p.m, Monday to Friday. Natalie Cassidy, Caring Together, is at 2 p.m, Monday to Thursday only. Dickinson's Real Deal is on ITV1 at 2 p.m, Monday to Friday. On Channel 4, there are 4 episodes of the sitcom Frasier, starting at 9:10 Monday to Friday. On ITV3, there are 2 episodes of Heartbeat, starting at 5:50 and 6:55 p.m, Monday to Friday. Now for Monday, 1st of June. More adventures on the UK's canals in Narrow Escapes on Channel 4 at 4 p.m. Kelvin faces a devastating loss when a 3-day-old lamb breaks its leg. Fletcher's Family Farm is on ITV1 at 7:30 p.m. A young, handsome and charismatic priest joins the parish in The Brokenwood Mysteries on the U and Drama Channel at 8 p.m. There are more than 1.5 million women of reproductive age in the UK who suffer from endometriosis, an excruciatingly painful condition for which there is no cure. The broadcaster Emma Barnett meets some of the women, like her, who must live with its effects. Emma Barnett, Fighting Endometriosis, is on BBC Two at 9 p.m. The final episode of the drama Dear England is on BBC One at 9. As Euro 2024 begins, the team struggles and pressure mounts. The second part of the drama Tiptoe is on Channel 4 at 9. Tuesday, 2nd of June. In the semi-final of Interior Design Masters with Alan Carr on BBC One at 8 p.m, the 3 remaining designers head to Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club Stadium to transform 2 hospitality boxes each. In tonight's episode of Bake Off The Professionals, the remaining 5 teams must create 24 identical Battenberg cakes and the same number of reinvented versions of the cake. Catch up with them on Channel 4 at 8 p.m. Several choices at 9 tonight. The Strictly Come Dancing professional, Amy Dowden, looks into her family tree in tonight's episode of Who Do You Think You Are on BBC One. A new documentary series, The Vardys, starts on ITV1 at 9, following Jamie Vardy and family as they start a new life in Italy. Continues at the same time Tuesday and Wednesday. Anna realises how much things have changed for her and seeks some guidance. The drama The Falling is on Channel 4 at 9. When Amanda Blakefield is left an enormous inheritance by a man she has neither met nor heard of before, her life starts to fall apart. The new drama The Fortune starts on Channel 5 at 9. Continues at the same time tomorrow. Events spiral toward an intense and devastating conclusion in the final episode of Half Man on BBC One at 10:40 p.m. In the documentary Witness, Fergal Keane's Journey of Hope on BBC Two at 11 p.m, the journalist explains why he is still full of hope after 4 decades covering war, genocide and famine, and argues that the answer lies in the bravery he has witnessed. On to Wednesday, the 3rd of June. The professor examines nuclear fusion in tonight's episode of The Future with Hannah Fry on BBC Two at 7:30 p.m. We meet a bunch of excitable staffy puppies in For the Love of Dogs with Alison Hammond on ITV1 at 7:30. In tonight's episode of MasterChef on BBC One at 8 p.m, the finalists jet off to the Caribbean to face challenges designed to broaden their culinary horizons. Amanda attempts to persuade Felicity to give her the money she needs to buy a house. Amandaland is on BBC One at 9 p.m. We look at the work of surgeons and their teams as they undertake critical operations in Scotland. Surgeons at the Edge of Life is on BBC Two at 9. The final episode of the drama The Falling is on Channel 4 at 9 p.m. Thursday, 4th of June. Finals week continues in MasterChef on BBC One at 8 p.m. A widow wants to preserve her late husband's memories as well as future-proof her home. George Clark's Beautiful Builds is on Channel 4 at 8 p.m. In Edinburgh, a search begins for a missing Chinese student. Reported Missing is on BBC One at 9 p.m. We are shown the footballer's meteoric rise to fame in David Beckham in 10 Pictures on BBC Two at 9. 4 contestants are in with a realistic chance of becoming the 21st Taskmaster champion. Taskmaster is on Channel 4 at 9 p.m. Keen to thank the staff, the Hardacres throw a servant's ball, where the staff will be waited on by the family. The Hardacres is on Channel 5 at 9 p.m. And so we come to Friday, the 5th of June. In their final challenge, the cooks serve a 3-course menu, but will they have done enough to impress the judges? Find out in MasterChef The Final on BBC One at 8 p.m. Kate Quilton investigates the uncertainty over summer holidays ever since jet fuel prices have soared and caused thousands of flights to be cancelled. Will My Summer Holidays Be Cancelled is on Channel 4 at 8 p.m. We follow the teams who look after 2 of the National Trust's most unusual houses in Hidden Treasures of the National Trust on BBC One at 9 p.m. A new series of Celebrity Gogglebox starts on Channel 4 at 9. Agnes Gate crashes Cathy's book club. Mrs. Brown's Boys is on BBC One at 9:30 p.m. And we end the week with a double bill of the hospital drama St Denis Medical on BBC One at 10:40 p.m. I do hope that you find something in this week's selection that will appeal to you.
Hi and welcome to another edition of Strange But True here on Talking Envision, where we bring you some of the weirdest, funniest and most wonderfully unusual stories from around the world. I'm Mike, and today we've got flying cheese, tractor convoys heading to school, and a man making money simply by standing in queues. And honestly, only one of those feels completely normal in Britain. We begin in Gloucestershire at the world-famous cheese rolling contest down Cooper's Hill, a race so dangerous it genuinely looks like people are falling down a cliff on purpose. The annual event sees competitors hurl themselves down a steep hill, chasing an 8-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese. And this year, one of the sport's greatest ever champions was finally defeated. Chris Anderson, a local legend who has won the event an astonishing 23 times, came out of retirement after being challenged by German YouTuber Tom Kopp. And after all the hype, Tom actually won. The 24-year-old from Munich beat the cheese-rolling veteran to the finish line and proudly declared, "This year's cheese will taste the sweetest." Now, if you've never seen cheese rolling before, just imagine a mixture of rugby, sledging and complete loss of balance. This year's hot weather made the hill firmer and even more dangerous, with competitors bouncing, tumbling and cartwheeling their way to the bottom. And somehow people voluntarily sign up for this every year. Next to Michigan in the United States, where graduating students at Airport High School decided to swap cars for tractors, golf carts and all-terrain vehicles for a tradition known as Tractor Day. Yes, instead of pulling into school in hatchbacks and old family cars, dozens of teenagers rolled into the car park driving huge farming machinery. The tradition dates back to the 1980s and celebrates the area's agricultural roots. One student, Chase Harville, arrived driving a massive tractor normally used on his family farm to grow soybeans and corn. Apparently, his older brother drove the exact same tractor to Tractor Day a few years ago. Now, I don't know about you, but I imagine school traffic is very different when half the students are arriving at 25 miles an hour on farm equipment. Still, there's something oddly wholesome about it. And finally, perhaps the most British story imaginable. A man from Manchester has revealed that he earns up to £250 at a time working as a professional queuer. Yes, people literally pay for him to stand in line for them. 23-year-old AJ Hubbins queues for everything from concert tickets and shop openings to product launches and pop-up events. His first ever job involved standing outside a Sephora store in Liverpool for 13 hours overnight so somebody else could collect a free goodie bag. And despite the cold weather, lack of food, and sleeping in a fold-up chair, he actually enjoyed it. In fact, AJ says queuing can be surprisingly social, with people chatting, making friends, and even helping each other hold places in line while someone grabs food or visits the toilet. Now, if there's one thing Britain takes seriously, it's queuing etiquette. No pushing in, no skipping in line, and absolutely no pretending that you're just joining your mates. Apparently, demand for professional queuers has increased massively in recent years, which means that somewhere out there, people are building full-time careers out of waiting around. Honestly, it may be the most British profession ever invented. And that brings us to the end of today's Strange But True stories. From hurtling after giant cheeses to tractor convoys and professional queue standing, it's proof that the world never runs out of odd headlines. Thanks for listening, and we'll have more unusual stories for you next time here on Talking Envision. I'm Mike. Take care.
That's all for this week's Talking Envision newspaper. We hope you've enjoyed listening. When you finish with your recording, please remember to pop the envelope back in the post so we can keep the service going for everyone. Don't forget you can also listen anytime using Alexa. Just ask it to open Talking Envision. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify and Facebook by searching Envision Sight Loss Charity. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to be notified when new editions are available. Take care, and we'll be back with you again soon.